Well, hello, you guys. Do you recognize? No, just kidding. How are you guys doing? What is poppin'? I miss you guys so much. As I mentioned, it's gonna be a long day of filming. So we are in what I call my third or fourth quarter of filming for the day. And tomorrow will be on some other kind of filming. But I figured we'd film our subject today. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I want to kind of display you guys a little bit of my childhood. I did give you guys a sneak peek of this jukebox. Now, for those of you who don't know, one of my family's businesses was owning bars and clubs. And guess what they had at the bars and clubs back in the day? They were jukeboxes. And I grew up on this. So believe it or not, I grew up around jukeboxes. I grew up around clubs, country clubs, Mexican clubs. Yes. For those of you who are in Houston, I'll have to move this away from the girls. Come here. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? You want to say hi, Kuna? Do you want to say hi? Come here. Come here, sweet girl. You want to say hi to all the people? Come on. It's okay. Mommy says you can get up. Come on. No? They don't know. They don't really know. Besitos. Thank you. Thank you, my sweet girl. You can sit down. You can sit down right here. June, you can sit down right here. You can sit down, or you can sit down on this couch. Go. Either one. It's okay, Mama. My sweet girls. Aw, they're little. They're like, they don't know what's going on. They love the camera. They love the camera. They're not like Brunito. My papitos. Oh, I miss him so much. They're sitting on either side of me, my sweet girls. Kona has my sock. That's okay. It just happens. Yes, it's okay. I said you can have it. She let it fall off the couch. She was like, okay, mom's already telling me what to do. As always. Yes. Anyway, yes. So I grew up around bars and clubs as a little girl. Yes, a baby and toddler. You guys can all judge my family. They're dead anyway. And this was like in the 90s and early thousands. So you guys also wonder how I know a lot of music, a lot of older music and stuff like that. Well, this is why. This is not one of my family's, like my actual blood family members' jukebox, but family friends of mine's. This is theirs. And it's absolutely stunning. When I first saw it, it brought tears to my eyes because, boy, do I miss my family so much. I thought I'd share a little bit of that piece with you guys. I've never really shared that before. Very few people in my life really don't even know how I know so much music and know how to dance a lot of different genres. I listen to everything from Zydeco to saltgrass to country, to Texas country to classic rock to oldies. Everything in the book, pretty much. I know, and this is only 100 CDs, and I know every single one of these artists. Like, as soon as a song plays, within the first 5 seconds, I instantly knew who they are. But that's just because my family was hardcore on me like that when it came to music and my culture and dancing. And we are going to go into today's subject. It's going to lead us straight into our subject, and it's going to be about sensitivity. Are you ready for this one? We're going to talk about being sensitive. Okay. Now, I want to talk to you guys, and I don't really even know where to start this because there are people that are so sensitive. People are very sensitive to things. People are incredibly, you say something and it's like you have to apologize. Okay. First of all, I stand by everything I do right or wrong. Everything that I do right and wrong. Okay. And I don't take nothing back. Like anything that I've said or have done or whatever to anybody or anything. Okay. Now, I have been so inspired by this because of what goes on the show every single day, 5 days a week. The things that are said also been inspired by the subject is the dating situations that my friends have been telling me about. And, all the stories that they've been telling me, I've like, you know, it reminded me of when I was really in that dating scene very heavily, like 4 years ago. And I was like, you know, on dates and stuff like that and trying to find whatever, blah, blah, blah. Or I thought that's just how you discovered love or whatever it was that you went out and you looked for it when it turned out that's really not what you're supposed to do. But I'm gonna tell you guys a little situation that happens recently, but not recently. Okay, and I was also inspired by this subject because of it. It's really short, but I'll tell you. It was really short. Okay. So once upon a time, I a guy asked me on a date, whatever. We went on a couple of dates or whatnot. And of course, when you are doing that, it's very common. I don't know about where you guys are, but here in the South, the talk of marriage and kids or whatever you want for your future should happen within the first couple of dates. And that's pretty much what happened. Okay, so we were talking about it, whatever, and then we were talking about career. Okay, and I say recent because this was something fairly recent. And I remember, things going well, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And he says, I really don't know about your career. It's just too much for me. Like, I really want like a wife at home. And I said, well, go find less. You want to know what he said? He was like, what? I said, well, you need to go find less. If my career is too much for you, you need to go find less. And that was just straight like that. And he was so offended. He was so offended. So offended. I said, how are you going to tell me I'm too much, my career's too much, and expect me to not be offended? I was like, it's too much for you. Okay. Clearly, I'm a woman of a career. I'm a woman who does multiple things, willing to get married, willing to have kids, willing to do all of it under the sun. Oh, but my career is too much for you. So you go find less. That's what I told him. He was sensitive. I mean, can you agree? How are you going to say my career is too much and then not expect me to come back at you with something like that? Come on now. Come on now. Mama didn't raise no fool. My family didn't raise no fool, right? I know, girls. They're crazy out here. Psycho. All right. So anyway, that was the only thing. Was that it was my career that was too much. Not you being a civil engineer and traveling all over the dang world, but my career was too much for you. So yeah, it's on go find less. That's what he needed. Okay. Anyway, so I was inspired by that. I was inspired by all my friends, all their stuff, and then TikTok, this show, every single day. Okay, we're gonna talk about that in the end, but we're gonna jump straight into the idea of sensitive. I grew up pretty rough, and what I mean by rough is I come from a military family, A. B, majority of my family are men. Hence why I respect men so much and why I love being surrounded by men. All my friends are guys, all that stuff. Hilarious, hee hee ha ha. And I get along with guys the most. Okay. C, my family was incredibly strict. Incredibly strict. Okay, and I've told you guys this before. And I'll tell you how strict. These people told me everything. Everything. I know about my adoption story that was supposed to happen. I know about my abortion story that was supposed to happen because I'm not even supposed to be here, you guys. I'm not even supposed to be here, period. I'm supposed to be like in another life with another family. I was supposed to be given up. I was told everything at the age that it happened. We're getting into the nitty gritty of this, okay? Because this is where my passion comes out. All right. Now, a lot of people are like, wow, I can't believe you knew all that. I can't believe, blah, blah, blah. Like, you shouldn't even be able to tell that story at your age and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, let me tell you something, okay? I am third generation American. My mother is second, okay? All right. My grandfather, okay, is here on this soil because he chose to not take things personal. He knew what it was going to have to be like and what it was going to have to take to be successful on this soil. Okay? And it is, you cannot be sensitive. Growing up playing sports, my grandfather was a professional athlete himself in 2 sports, and a couple of my family members were professional in their sports. And I played D1, and my biological father played D1 and was like a naval officer. Okay. Being raised by my grandfather, one of his major things to me when it came to him being very honest with me, vulnerably honest with me, very just beyond open with me, it was about him setting me up for surviving. You ever heard that terminology? May the strongest one survive? Yeah. May the strongest one survive. At the end of the day, in anything in life, in anything, it's not ever really about all that hard work. It's not ever really about that talent. It's the tad bit of sacrifice, okay? And will you survive? May the strongest one survive. That was my grandfather's goal at the end of the day. That was what he was building in me. That's what my family was teaching me. Because at the end of the day, they knew the hard work was going to come. They knew the hard work was in my blood. They knew that I had already built that muscle memory because they started working me at the age of 6. And they knew that that was already there. They knew the passion was there. They knew my heart was in the right place at all times and that it was there. I always did what's best, not what was right, wrong, or right. And the main goal for them was that we need to make sure she can survive no matter what. And little did they know that I would be in my 20s. By the age of 21, my entire family that raised me had passed away. Do you think if they were sugarcoating my childhood that I would be standing right here, right now, that'd be right here in front of you? Probably not, sweet pea. Probably not. And I don't think I would be either. I personally don't think I would be here either if it weren't for that village, if it weren't for them, if it weren't those people, if it weren't the people that put me in front of adulthood too soon. Would I have survived that tragedy of a childhood? And it took a lot of that strength they taught me to be able to look back at that and smile and be like, you know what? That taught me a lot. I wouldn't change my childhood for nothing. I wouldn't turn back time and go back and change any of it, any of the deaths, any of it. I wouldn't. So do you think if they talked to me like a little kid or hid things from me that I would be able to do that? No. There's no way. There's no way. Like a lot of those people said, I wouldn't even make it out of junior high with what had happened in my early childhood and what had continued to happen in my early childhood over and over and over and over again. Yeah. May the strongest ones survive. And that's really what it narrows down to at the end of the day. Everybody's putting in the same hard work. Everybody's got some sort of talent. It's really, really the strength. When you really look at it, when you really think about it, some people are like, oh, that person's like really talented. I'm like, that person, look, if the world ends, I want that person by my side. That's who I want. You know what I mean? So it's really, that's really what it is when you really think about it all at the end of the day. And I'm so proud of my family. I'm so proud of them. Oh my gosh, I miss them so much. Yes, I learned how to pay taxes by the age of 6 years old. I learned how to do a lot of things. I learned to be very, 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 very beyond independent. And I didn't realize that until this past weekend. Mm-hmm. So we know the storm that happened in Houston. Well, I had some family friends of mine, or just friends of mine, not family friends, but friends of mine stayed with me over the weekend. And, I was doing stuff, and all that, blah, blah. I got stuff to take care of, whatever, moving stuff around, whatever. And they were like, you didn't even ask for help. And I was like, why would I ask for help? And they were like, that you are too independent. You are too independent. Like, you didn't even ask for help. And I'm like, why would I ask for help? I didn't realize until this past weekend what my grandfather and parents have been doing to me the whole time. I remember when I was a little girl. Okay, and this jukebox comes into play with this story. So my great aunt, which is my mom's aunt, who was one of the family members who owned bars and clubs in Houston. Not saying which side of town, not saying which ones, just in case some of you know. Anyway, bad things didn't happen there, by the way, in any of those places. But anyway, I remember that when I was learning to sing in English, because I was only taught to speak English first and to sing in Spanish first. So I was learning English, second language in Spanish, and learning second singing language English, second speaking language Spanish. Okay. I'll never forget what happened. Believe it or not, I was about 5 years old. Okay. 5 years old before I started to get like a work schedule situation. And we were at my great aunt's, one of her bars. And she used to let me sing. And everybody loved to let me sing and watch me sing and stuff like that. Everybody that was always there all the time. And at the benefits, there would be like microphones and stuff like that. Like they'd have the DJ and stuff like that. So I was like, Mom, I want to sing. I want to sing. Yeah, I want to sing. I want to sing. And so they're like, my dad was like, I'm going to pick a song. I'm going to pick a song. So she picked a song. Of course, it was in Spanish. And of course, I had to know it. Or else she would come up there and yank that microphone and be like, you're not getting on that stage no more. Better get over here, girl. But I learned that song first. My family was crazy, y'all. They're crazy having that much pressure on a 5-year-old. And so she selected the song. Of course, I knew the song by heart. And my mom and my aunt and everybody that was at that table said, go get your microphone. Just like that. Go get your microphone from the DJ. So there I go, my little dress. Can you get the microphone? And I knew every word. And you best bet I performed it. And you best bet they were like so happy and so proud. You want to know what they didn't do? They didn't baby me. My mom would say, oh, Mahita, it's okay. Like, don't be nervous. Okay, I can do good. But none of it. Just sat back. Take it on. It was about also them putting the trust in me as a little girl. And me finding the trust in myself that I could do well with no one beside me, with no one cheering me on, with all that pressure. I don't ever really remember feeling doubt as a little girl from my family. I don't ever remember feeling that from the ones that were really good to me, that were really important to me, from them. I didn't ever feel that from them. I always felt like they had such confidence in me, and therefore it continued this cycle of confidence in so many things, in my personal life and in my love life and in my career and in other things, ideas and goals. It wasn't ever about dreaming too little. It was always dream bigger, do better. You can always do better. Even if you had a perfect game and even if you scored 10 runs, you can do better. Do better. It was do better, 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 better every single time. Keep doing it. And I feel like in a lot of ways, it taught me, wholesomeness. It taught me bravery. It taught me strength at such a young age and knowing that they're raising a woman. And I think little did they know, and maybe, I don't know, maybe in their subconscious, they just knew that pretty soon with this little girl, they would no longer be by her side. And that she would have had to have known all that knowledge at such a young age in order to make it to her 20s and to continue on happily in her life. It is a lot when it comes to surviving. We've all been down those terrible roads where some of us didn't get up. Some of us didn't get up. But you did. But we did. So continue to. Because somewhere down your line, you were taught what you needed to be taught in order to get up. That strength came from somewhere. It did. And the older I get, the more I realize with everything that happened to me, I want to say like several years ago, I used to be like, oh my gosh, like, I used to feel like kind of bad for myself. I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, what the hell, Pobrecita. But now I'm like, dang, girl, wow. Like, you needed that. You needed that. Maybe I didn't need all that, but girl, look, life does beautiful things, okay? And it has to get bad before it gets beautiful. You have to see the dark before you see the light. All right. So let's talk about the Daily Show every day. Okay. Now, every single day, I'm just going to be very open, very honest, really quickly. I get called a bitch. I get called I'm fat. I get called I'm ugly. I get called I sound like so and so. I get called I'm not talented enough. Get a real job. You're fat. You're ugly. Like, I get called the most absurd things. Shut up. Nobody is hearing you. Nobody cares. I hear that every single day live in comments right in front of my face all day, every day, all day, every day. Okay. And I've been doing this for a year. Okay. I've been doing this show for a year. Various shows, but still the shows. Do you think that if I was deeply sensitive, that if I was really that sensitive, that I would be able to get in front of that camera as often as I get in front of that camera every single day, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, 5 days a week, 4 days a week, 6 days a week, 5 days a week? Do you think for those long, immense hours that I would be able to do that if I was sensitive, being called that every single day? No. No. Can't happen. Impossible. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. There's no way that most people would get up and get in front of that camera and tolerate being called a bitch every day. When you go to work, as soon as you sit down on your desk, does someone call you a bitch? Does someone tell you you're not talented enough? Does someone tell you that, oh, your outfits are ugly? Quick note. My sister and I on the show get told this all the time. All the time. Just, don't listen to them. Blah, blah, blah. You're not hearing this every day. You're not seeing this every day, 50 times a day, a million times a day. It's not you. There are days where and I know, and I can pretty much speak for her, You stand in front of that mirror, sometimes it's rough. It's rough. It's rough. Nobody wants to get up and be called a bitch as much as we get called that. Like, that's rough. That's really rough. It's easier said than done. May the strongest ones survive. If I wasn't taught any of that from my family and my village, you think I'd be able to stand in front of that camera every day and do that and be sensitive if I was that sensitive? No. Mm-mm. I believe in having genuine conversations that you don't want to have make you stronger. I believe that. I've had so many conversations I didn't want to have, so many things that I didn't want to face as a little girl, and even as a young adult looking back. It is rough, but it makes you stronger, and it makes you really look through the dirt. You're really able to see what is in there. Having good and genuine results from those difficult times and decision making. May the strong survive. Don't be sensitive. Don't be a snowflake. I love you guys so much. This is going to be the end of my subject. I hope you guys really, really enjoyed it. Really got to take a look at something besides grit, something besides hard work, something besides the work ethic, something besides, passion and all of that, the sacrifice that you throw into it. Really take a look and look at capabilities. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it at the end of the day, it's really about what you're willing to take and what you're willing to go through. And it really will define results for you. But yeah, I love you guys so much. Be good to one another. Be kind to one another. And I'll see you guys next time. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, just let your girl know. And until next time, if you guys have any subjects, let me know. Be safe.